Subway Story, written by Julia Sarcone Roach. While I'm reading this story, think about the interesting facts that you learn about subways. When Jessie was born in St. Louis, Missouri, she weighed 75,122 pounds and was 51.5 feet long. She had a loud horn, 4 big fans, 4 large windows, bright lights for seeing, sturdy seats for sitting, and a gleaming coat of paint. She was a beautiful, shiny, new subway car. Jessie arrived at her new home in New York City and got to work right away. She was strong and fast. People relied on her to get to their jobs or to school or to see their friends and family. Jessie traveled all over the big, bustling city. When the World's Fair began, Jessie had the special job of carrying visitors to the fairground. No matter who or what was on board, Jessie's favorite part of her route was the curve of the track right before her tunnel ducked under the river. She would speed up for the curve and then zip down with a screech of sparks shooting off her wheels. And even deep down under the river, Jessie could hear the echoing boom of the tugboats far up above her. If she passed another train, she'd always give a friendly wink with a twinkle of her headlight. Over the years, Jessie saw the city change, and she had some changes of her own. New light, 1969. New paint, 1971. New window, 1986. Her parts got fixed when they broke down, and she even got to change colors. New door, 1978. Lots of new paint, 1986. But when Jessie got older, a new coat of paint couldn't hide the cracks in her seats and the scratches and scuffs on her windows and floors. Still, she kept working as best she could through springs and summers, falls and winters. Another spring came and Jessie noticed more new shiny silver trains running on the tracks. By summer, Jessie's fans were just not strong enough to keep her passengers cool, so newer air-conditioned trains took over her route during the summer months. Jessie missed the people and the activity. She was also glad when fall came and she could go back to work. Then, one year, the air turned frosty and the leaves changed colors, but nobody came to put Jessie back on her route. She sat in the yard with the older trains. She thought about the people she had carried. Did they notice she was gone? One day, workers came and moved Jessie inside. When they began removing her fans, Jessie was excited. Finally, I am getting fixed, she thought. As they pulled out her seats and windows, Jessie began to feel much lighter. But then she felt someone unbolting her doors. Wait, she thought, my doors aren't broken. I need them. Instead of fixing her, the people were taking Jessie apart. Off came her lights, her signs, her brakes, and her horn too. Then they washed Jessie over and over again and left her with a group of other cleaned up subway cars. The cars were loaded onto a barge in the river and a tugboat pulled the barge out of the city harbor. As the waves got bigger, Jessie felt the breezes whistle through her empty windows. Curious fish peered up at them as the barge moved into the open ocean. Will I ever get to see my city again? Jessie nervously thought. After traveling for hours, the barge came to a stop. The subway cars could see nothing but water. Everything was quiet. Suddenly, the crane in the middle of the barge began to move. It shoved the car next to Jessie to the edge of the barge. Splash! The car went over and disappeared beneath the waves. Is that what will happen to me? Jessie wondered. And then she felt the crane beneath her, pushing her towards the edge. Then whoosh! Jessie plunged into the salty ocean. Water thundered into every part of Jessie, and it got darker and darker as she sank down, 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 until thump! She hit the ocean floor. A huge cloud of sand and silt churned up around her. And at first, Jessie couldn't see anything. Then, out of the dimness came a little silver fish. In and out of Jessie's windows and doors he swam. Soon there were more curious little fish swirling around her. In the darkness, Jessie felt a little like she was back in the subway tunnels she knew so well. Over the next few days, more fish decided to move in and live with Jessie. In the following weeks, shellfish settled inside and plants began to grow all over her. Then, bigger fish from the deeper parts of the ocean came to feed on the smaller fish. Sometimes a dolphin or turtle would stop by to visit. Now, Jessie lives on the ocean floor. Tiny creatures called coral cling to the same poles that people held onto when Jessie lived and worked above ground. Hundreds of fish dart through the doors that people once used. Jessie was once an important part of the city where she lived. And now a whole city lives inside her. Can you tell me some of the interesting facts that you learned about subway cars in this story? Make sure to post them on Class Dojo.